Hey everyone, welcome back to Kevin's Creations here on Geektopia Island. I'm Kevin.
I'm Cardwell.
And today we're going to give everybody the deck that everybody's been asking us about. They've been wanting to know about the little deck brawl, the deck that we showed, Princess Aimul, and the Type A negative deck. So we've shown it a couple times on Brawls. People loved it, so we're going to break it down and let everybody see it.
Oh yeah.
So, with that, let's delve into it. First off, we are playing Aimul, because, I mean, she's good.
She's awesome.
Yeah, Princess of Fleeting Hope. So she judgments for 2 white, and she's got Energized white or black. Pretty sweet.
Super good.
And then you pay 0, recover target Resonator, play this ability only during your opponent's turn and only once per turn. That ability is what spawned this deck.
Yep.
And before anybody asked or anything, this whole deck was Cardwell's idea. He wanted to play a new Force of Will deck, and he wanted to use Aimul because of that ability.
Yep. That ability with a certain creature we'll get with. And of course, you already know White's here, so Flourishing Hope's here. And with Scarlet, I can't beat that. I can't beat that card, so we switched to another imperishable ruler here.
Yeah. And so when she judgments, Aimul turns into the Princess of Despair.
Yep.
She's a 3/3, kind of meh, but it gets better. So she's got Flying and Imperishable and Drain. Oh,
super
great.
good.
Sounds good. And then when this card enters the field, look at the top 3 from your deck. You may put a non-chant card with total cost 3 or less from among them into play. You may invert that card automatically through her.
Yeah.
So comes into play and it auto inverts.
So if they have stipulations to it, it just doesn't matter. You just do it because of her.
And you put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then she gets +2/+2 for each other inversed card you have in play.
Yes.
It does not count chance, so don't try to get all invert chance, but just the cards that you have, like stones and
creatures.
Additions,
Oh, yeah,
resonators,
additions.
all kinds of things. Anything that's in your field is what gives her +2/+2 per thing. So essentially she's going to be like a 7/7 or a 9/9. And that's pretty good because a continual drain on either 7 or 9 is pretty strong.
Yeah.
And flying, great.
Exactly.
So I'll let Cardwell get into the Resonators and what he started with and where we're at.
Of course, most of the deck is just mainly using the decks that the flip cards that go with her, but that's why it makes her so strong nowadays. But the first one, Acolyte of the Sun. It's the new card that came out, 1 white, 2/2. Tap to produce a white. This gets you turn 2 flip Aimul. Therefore, you already have a board. Yeah. Like by turn 2.
The other fun part with this Mana Dork and an Aimul is on their turn, if you have quick cast things, you can play them for free. You just like, play, add a white, untap, add a white.
Yeah.
So if you have like a quick cast raw, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's silly.
And that's why her thing's just so good, her front ability.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the next creature, or next Resonator is Angel of Hope. It's a 2/3, 1 white. Flying and Drain, which is insane. And then whenever you do Judgment the Ruler, invert this card. We'll get there. But whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this card. It fuels itself, and it's just insane. So when you do invert this card, it's a 4/5 flying, plus whatever counters are on, because it stays on. And if this card inverts, destroy target Resonator if this had a 1/1 counter on it. So it's just...
I don't know if you've played against this Angel, but it's one of the hardest 1-drops to deal with. Like if you don't just kill it in the first 3 turns.
Immediately, yeah.
Like,
you just need to immediately kill it.
Because even if they don't get to kill your dudes on the inverse of it, it's just a big creature after a while, and then it continually drains. It's so annoying to deal with.
Yeah, just the good old front side just keep getting... Like, you don't even have to flip at that moment, but if you do, then it's a bonus.
And in the long run, it's essentially a 1-mana kill target dude.
Yeah.
And that's always good. I mean, that's super good.
And with Aimul, that's whenever you want to.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's a big dude they finally played? Okay, flip. If they haven't dealt with the Angel of Hope, of course.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and tell us about Angel's Unicorn.
All right, so Aimul's Unicorn is the next little dude, and he's a 2-drop 6/6.
6/6, yes.
Sorry, 2-drop 6/6. Been a minute since I've seen this dude. He doesn't really do anything on his front side, but he inverts into an 8/6 Aimul's Twisted Beast. He's got Precision, which is super good, and it's really annoying, but he has a drawback of when he inverts, destroy target Resonator with attack less than this card's attack. So this is supposed to hit your opponent's dude. But if you don't have if your opponent doesn't have a dude smaller than him, you have to target one of yours.
Learn that during the roll.
Yeah, so it's gonna at least kill something, regardless.
Has to kill something.
Yeah, but
It's another flip dude. It's another Resonator that kills a guy just by flipping Aimul, which gives you more power on the board for free. Pretty much, for 2 white.
All day.
Yeah, it's insane. And of course, I'll let you talk about her as well.
Alright, my baby girl, Jeanne d'Arc,
Yep.
the Mad Maiden. I mean, it's Jeanne d'Arc.
It's Jeanne d'Arc.
Yeah, 2 darkness for 7/5. If you have 3 or more dudes, she gets swiftness and eternal. And then she deals damage in -1/-1 counters instead of actually dealing damage.
If only we can, just have our producer just copy that one segment so we can just put it in every video we make.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're playing darkness, you need to be playing Jeanne d'Arc because she's just that strong. Just the amount of silly stuff that she can do / stop. And also with the little Twisted Beast we just talked about, she's smaller than the Twisted Beast. So if you have her, when you invert your unicorn and she's in play, you can target her. And if you have 3 dudes, your Jeanne d'Arc doesn't die. The trigger still happens, and it would target her, but she's got Eternal, so she doesn't get killed off.
So let's say you do turn 2 unicorn, turn 3 flip. You can do the flip first, pull out a Jeanne d'Arc. There's 3 people. She has Eternal. Then the unicorn can flip and target that.
Yeah.
So you get to position. You have so much control of what you want to do.
Yeah.
On your turn. So.
And as he just stated, when she does Judgment, you control all the triggers.
Yes.
So you get to choose how they go. So if you want hers to go off first, you can do that. If you want the other ones to go off first, they can do that.
Yeah.
It's however you want them because you choose all the triggers in their order.
It's amazing. Now, number reason why I made the deck, because I saw this silly combo, I just wanted to do it, is a Patchwork Frankenstein. 2 darkness, 10/10. Whenever this card attacks or blocks, it doesn't recover during your next recovery phase. I don't care. Aimul is going to untap it for me.
Yeah, Aimul gets to be like, hey, you're untapping.
Yep.
And Aimul's ability to prevent things being attacked
as well
is so annoying. Good lord, because you're just like, I'm going to attack that, and you're like, nah, chief.
Yeah. In response to your attacks, untap this thing you want to get rid of. Sorry.
And yeah, having a 2-mana 10/10 that you can just free untap and not care is really, really good. I mean, it's a 2-mana 10/10.
Yep.
Awesome.
No, the next one, of course. Mephistopheles.
Yeah. Meffi is amazing. Mephistopheles is 3 mana for an 8/8. When you do the Judgment of a Ruler, you invert this card. Cool. On his front side, J Resonators your opponent's control entered tapped or entered rested. So you're playing against aggro, you pump this dude out turn 3 with the mana dork.
Yeah.
So you get him out there, so that way all their swifty dudes come in rested, so they don't get to have swiftness really. And then when he inverts, he becomes a 10/10 flyer. And J Resonators your opponent's control get -2/-2.
Just like that.
Just flat, kill the board.
Yeah.
And then Resonators injured in the field under your opponent's control don't cause their own abilities to trigger. So any of their enter triggers won't trigger.
Yeah.
And they get smaller. And you have a 10/10 flyer.
Yes.
I don't see what's wrong with any of that.
And like we said, think of the mana dork, turn 2 Aimul flip into Mephistopheles flip. Enjoy. Like, I have a 10/10 flyer. Yeah. Really good.
Or if you need to, you can turn to a Mephistopheles with Energize and the mana dork. Or just the mana dork, really.
Yeah.
And then just go.
It's just go. That's all she's all about. Filling your board and going.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next one is Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. So it's 1 white and 2, 7/8. Of course, nothing special except your Judgment actually costs 1 less. So there's plenty of times when I played in the brawl against Kevin, it's turn 4, I would have this, or turn 3 with that. Just play Jekyll, then 1 mana, flip. Board's filled again.
It's so good. Like, I can't stress how good that dude is in an Aimul deck. It's silly.
Yeah. And in terms, like I said, Mrs. Hyde, it's a 8/9. This card cannot be attacked. And then other inverse Resonators you control get +4/+4.
So what's better than just a +4/+4? Let's make it not be attacked.
Yeah, you can't be. It's a lord that just can't be hurt. I don't.
It's so good. And it's a big booty lord. It's an 8/9.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I will not die to anything.
Just keep your hands off the lady, okay?
Yeah, and I'm just going to keep beating you with an 8/9. She's insane if she gets to stick. Because all your dudes are inverse, or like most of your dudes are inverse, so that makes an inverse angel super strong. Because it's just a flying monster then. It makes Aimul's unicorn good. Just all the little other cards are just so good.
Pretty much. And Mephistopheles is a 14/14 flyer.
Yeah.
For nearly free.
Yeah. So strong. And the final Resonator of the deck is Valkyrie of Mercy. She's 2 white and 1 for a 6/7, and she comes into play. You put target resonator total cost 2 or less from your graveyard into play. So you can get your Jeanne Darks, the Patchwork Frankenstein, the Unicorn, the Angel, or the Mana Dork.
Yeah.
Essentially, you get all but like 8 dudes. So
that's fine.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day.
Because you know these will die.
Yeah.
That's what happens in games.
I mean, when Jeanne Dark hits play, she's going to be dead because she has to. Like, you have to get rid of that thing or else it just gets out of hand.
In order to do that, you have to kill the other dudes.
And then Air just brings them back. And you're like, ah, cool, bring this dude back.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Silly.
To be able to flip Aimul and then put out Air to bring back your Jeanne Dark, and then you swing with Jeanne Dark. It's like, my board's filled again for 2 mana.
Great.
It's insane. Now, of course, that's the Resonators. It's all good stuff. And we've already announced Flourishing Hope as the first spell because it's the best spell. 1 white, quick cast. Target J Resonator gains Eternal until end of turn, and then invert this card. And when you do, it becomes Burgeoning Despair, which is 1 darkness, 2 quick cast. Opponent banishes 2 dudes.
All day.
Yeah.
It's so strong because the front side you can target their dude if you need to. If you really need to make it indestructible. Just to be like, hey, kill your dudes.
Or, yeah, be like, they have 2 dudes. Well, that one has indestructible. Sacrifice. Thanks.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So strong. Next up, Twin Blades.
Yes.
Twin Blades of Hope and Despair. It's our one little one of, and if you got to watch the brawl, it totally wrecked me. So it's a black and white for a quick cast, and target resonator you control gets +6/+6, and target resonator your opponent control gets -6/-6. So they both have to be there, but so be it.
It makes that block really bad, and all your damage can go through maybe.
And then this card inverts after you play it, so +6/-6 invert. And then it turns into 2 white, 2 black for just a chant, and you can either choose one, destroy target J/Resonator, or put target Resonator 5 or less into play from your graveyard.
It does everything you want.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Especially, we were talking about, like, the format's so slow, and especially the new J-Rulers is like, it takes them a while to build up and then flip, and then by that time you can just be like, oh, well, pay 4, kill your dude. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, all day.
And another one that I fell in love with, the next chant, is the Arrival of the Hero. It's 2 white, the art's super amazing. Quick cast. If you control a J-Ruler, you may pay 2 white less to play this card. So it's free. And it's quick cast. So like you flip it, and you get to choose one. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Resonators you control until end of turn. So if they try to board white with damage, or you know they're wanting to swing in all your dudes, but you're just like, well, prevent all of that damage. So good luck. Or destroy target rested Resonator.
Yeah.
It's a free kill spell.
Or if you know you're able to swing into their dudes, you can still prevent all your damage for free.
For free. Just for free.
Card is insane strong. If your J-Ruler can stay flip.
If you have Imperishable, done. But
yeah, I mean, the card is insane because it's just so strong. It does so much for you. It's a free kill spell.
It's a free kill spell. Great. And free to save your dudes. Thanks.
Yeah. Next kill spell we got is Life-Severing Blade. It's also one of my new favorite cards, and it's a black and 2 for quick cast, destroy target Resonator. And as long as one of your creatures died this turn, one of your Resonators was put into the graveyard, this card costs 2 less. Yes. So essentially it's 1 mana, destroy target Resonator.
It's basically a trade-off card. Be like, oh, you killed my dude, cool, now kill your dude. Thanks.
Yeah. And again, if y'all saw the brawl, you saw this card do work with me because I was just like, kill that dude, kill that dude. I need to know, kill that dude.
Every game is getting tired of that card real quick.
I mean, Life-Severing is just a great card.
Yeah. Next one, another flip one. It's an addition. Light Castle, Balance of Hope. 1 white, 1. Whenever Judgment, of course, invert this card. When this card enters the field, put 2 1/1 counters on each Resonator you control. It's just solid.
It's so good.
Just extremely solid. Especially if somehow you put an Angel of Hope and you play this and then flip, like, you can still get to kill something with Angel of Hope, you know? You don't have to, as long as Angel of Hope has a counter, doesn't matter, then you get to kill a dude.
Yeah.
And that's what Lighthouse helps. And then, of course, Dark Castle, the inverse part of it, Palace of Despair. This card inverts, put 4 -1/-1 counters on each Resonator your opponent's control. It's just strong.
I can't.
It's just too strong.
card is insane because you already get enough value off of judgmenting with your other dudes.
Yeah.
And then to be like, I can wipe your board in a single instant is pretty insane.
Yes.
Because -4/-4, even if it doesn't wipe anything, it makes all those dudes half useless. Like, it straight stops a Jeanne d'Arc almost because you're just like, oh cool, you're now three damage.
Tiny.
Great.
Tiny.
I don't care about you anymore.
It also helps with Aimul's Twisted Beast when it flips. You flip this first. Twisted Beast has a better chance to kill something.
Yeah, because it makes their dudes smaller for Twisted Beast to be like, I can kill that dude now.
Yeah.
It's just really strong on both sides. It's not... I wouldn't go crazy on it because it's not that strong, but it's good for what it does.
You know at that moment if you think you can flip to just change the board, your combat, then done. It also helps with Mephistopheles, like all their 1 or 2 drops might be gone.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah. And the final card of the main deck is Moonlit Canopy. Yeah. It's a card both of us really love, and I'm really glad that he uses it. So it's 2 darkness and 1 for an addition. And at the beginning of each player's main phase, that player loses 400 life.
Yeah. It's a race. That's what we're doing here.
You're just like, hey, I will live because I have drain, and you will not because you don't.
And I have constant drain, so enjoy that.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
I'll play the bleed game all day with this, with Aimul and what she does, because you're just like, hit you, drain, cool, gain some life. Yeah, you lose 4, I lose 4. Oh, great. I'm at a lot more than you still.
Exactly. It's crazy good.
It's a really good just finisher, really.
Yeah, you want to hold it, or hopefully at the end, if you flip late, flip Aimul.
Yeah.
And of course, I apologize. I keep saying, he says Aimul, I say Aimul. Well, you know, tomato, it's all good.
Yeah. The stones are pretty simple. We're still trying to figure out if we want the mystery stones or not, but currently we have Magic Stone of Corruption. This could change out for mystery stones just depending on what you wanted for sideboard options. And the Magic Stone of Corruption is add a darkness or tap 2 darkness and tap banish this card. Your opponent discards a card. Play this ability only during your turn.
Yeah.
So it's just, you're just like, cool. You have 1 card left, get rid of it.
Yeah. It's just a darkness stone with upside. That's all it really, that's why it's there.
That's essentially what it is. Next up is Magic Stone of Faith. And it is produce a white will. And this will can, if it's used on a Valkyrie or a human, that card can't be countered. So essentially it gives your air ability to not be countered, your Dr. Jekyll, your Mana Dork, and your...
That's probably about it, but...
any kind of sideboard Valkyries he uses, anything else. Like, I mean, it technically could be used for Jeanne d'Arc, but you can't play Jeanne d'Arc for white, so I mean, it doesn't really work.
If only.
Yeah, but like, it helps your sideboard options, because it gives you access to not having your humans countered, is really what it needs for. And the last stone is the Inverse Stone, Aimul Stone, Magic Stone of Hope. And it adds a white on the front side, and when you do Judgment of a Ruler, invert this. And it adds a white or a black.
Yep.
That's essentially its purpose, is to be an inverse card, so it will pump your ruler.
Yeah. Just
to be like, hey, she gets +2 for each of the stones that are inverted. And it gives you an easier way to play Burgeoning Despair late game.
Yeah.
So you're just like, cool, do some things early with white. Because you need the white first, and then the black comes later in the
later in the game.
Yeah.
And of course, her Energize makes it easier to play Jeanne d'Arc or Patchwork fast. Definitely if you get a Darkstone turn 1.
Yeah, it's silly. That's really it for the main board, guys. We do have some like sideboard / honorable mentions,
pretty much.
Like cards you can use for sideboard and just different things that are really good in general. The first one being Look at Despair. That card is insane. Or Look at Corruption. It is 1 black.
That's mine.
And you get to look at target player's hand. They discard a 4 and under. And if you pay an Awakening of black and 1, you get to pick a 5 and over, and they discard it too.
Yeah. Most of the time, it's just the turn 1, right?
It's just better. Destroy your hand. The most I've played this card, the more I like it is just pay 1, discard 4 and under. And it's super strong. It's just good because it gets every threat you need it to.
Of course, and then I guess what, Ray as well? Is a 2-drop, black and a colorless?
2-drop Ray is the little owl that could. And it judgments...
into 0.
Yeah, it judgments into 0. Like, it inverts into 0 on your next turn. So it doesn't... It's the only inverse... It's one of the only inverts that doesn't have to worry about judgment.
Wait for a ruler. But, of course, with Aimul, you just flip it over.
Yeah.
And basically, it puts a bubble on top of your dudes. Any spell or ability that targets one you or a creature, it gets countered.
No, not you. It just targets your dudes. It counters it, but it also it takes away your spells and their spells.
Yeah, so you gotta work around that pretty much.
Yeah, so if you're trying to save your own dudes with your own spells, then be careful. One of the other honorable mentions that I really enjoy is Raw, and it's the 2-drop bird that comes into play, and it can redirect, like it can literally pull a spell or target of an ability to it, and then whenever it gets targeted by a spell that has a single target, you draw a card, and then you can pay 2 white and move that spell to something else.
Yeah. So you draw a card and then take that spell somewhere else.
Yeah, in our locals, I got destroyed by one of those Raws because I was like, shoot that thing for 10. And they were just like, cool, redirect it to Raw, redirect it to your J ruler. Take 10 to your J ruler. And I was like, what? No, that's not how this works. Stop it.
So dirty.
Raw's super good. Next up is Isolate. Isolate's really there just to stop IU. That's the only card that White has to give an answer to IU, which Isolate is 2 mana, and its quick cast target J/Resonator is prevented this turn. Like all their damage is prevented.
Just gone, yeah. So when they're just like soul, right? And just like, oh, stop it, done.
Yeah, you're just like, cool. You essentially when you have Isolate, you wanna have to take the first one because most of the Aimul or the AU decks, most of them play Resuscitating Will, and that is untap your dude, they get to attack again.
Yeah.
So they only usually do like 20 damage at the start, and then they Resuscitating Will. So if you can, try to wait for them to do that, because that means they waste their God's Art, and they waste all their spells.
Yeah.
And then at the last moment, you're just like, I'll prevent the next 20, and I don't die.
Then you win, pretty much, hopefully.
Because they don't have a deck, because all their cards get milled out from their God's Art. And then B, they don't have any way to kill you again because they're tapped out and you get to go again.
Yep, and you gain life.
Yeah, so you're just like, cool, don't care.
Thanks.
The next card that I really enjoy in the side is Grim. He's another really good inverse card. He's 3 mana and he's got Barrier Black and White, which is super strong because those 2 colors are everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Brunhild, Lucifer, just everywhere. His front side, he has a come into play ability on Fairy Tales, but I mean, Fairy Tales aren't really a thing anymore, but that's what he has. He gets more counters if you show Fairy Tales, blah, blah, blah. But mostly he's there for when he attacks, you put 2 mystery counters on your J ruler, and then he inverse the same time as like when you judgment. And when you judgment, or when he inverts, you can remove 2 mystery counters from him, and he like blankets a card with they lose all eternal spell. They lose the keyword eternal.
Yep.
And they lose this card can't be destroyed.
And imperishable as well.
Yeah. And then it destroys that card. So you're just like, cool, your imperishable eternal things,
it's gone.
They're gone. And then his other ability that makes him really strong that I had found out, and I was like, oh my god.
The little tiny text at the bottom.
Yeah. It says cards in your opponent's graveyard don't have abilities. So essentially it's there to help stop Time Spinning Witch from Chrono breaking you, because it takes away those God's Arts that are in the graveyard. It takes away like any kind of weird graveyard abilities, like Dark Elves have some, just certain cards that do things in the graveyard. They don't have those abilities anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why I like Grim in the board, just because he does a lot for you.
And that's when like we will probably change the actually Stone of Corruption into the Mystery Stone, so it's easier to do that.
Yeah, and it takes away Remnant. Like just no. You don't have Remnant.
Yeah. And of course with Aimul, comes in, flip it. You don't have to have the stipulation. Destroy something.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Karmic Retribution is another fun card that you can use, and it's essentially just there to help fuel Aimul and all of her silliness.
Yeah.
Its main purpose is I think it's 1 white and it's destroy target J/ruler. Or it does something to that nature.
Yeah. It destroys a entity you control.
Yeah.
And then you can draw a card. Or, yeah.
That's what it is. I remember it's something that you control.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have the cards with us at the moment.
Yeah.
But with this, you probably saw in some brawls, if you flip her early and they know not to attack her, and then you're stuck in this point where you need to cast stones because your board didn't develop right with the flip. So this way you can cast a stone, kill her, or just kill her, then you can cast her out again to do it, stuff like that. So... And you draw a card off of it, so that's good.
Yeah, because if your opponent is playing real well, they're going to not let that Aimul go back. Because it's too dangerous to let an Aimul go back because they can Judgment again and get a free card. And it's just too good.
Yeah.
And the final card that we have for like an honorable mention is one of the other 3-drop enchantments, the Floating Isle. It's the 2 white and 1. It's got Quick Cast, which I learned that because I got wrecked by it in locals. And it says each player can only play 1 spell a turn. The card is a lot stronger than I gave it credit for. So if you're playing like a mid-rangey deck, you're going to have bigger dudes than they do.
Yeah.
And if you're playing aggro, you're going to lose because you need to play multiple dudes to keep up.
And especially with this deck, you're pretty much tapping out every turn. That or you don't even have stones to tap because you flip Aimul so quick. So like that just helps you more than it, and it will destroy them completely.
Yeah, and it's just really good because when they play their first spell, you're like, in response, flash this in.
Yep.
Or quick cast this in, and they can't play another spell.
Yep.
And it makes quick cast cards a lot worse, really.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it makes them okay, but it makes so much things a lot harder. Because you're like, I want to play 2 dudes this turn and do cool things. And you
especially
just
if you have Ray flipped into 0 with that Floating Isle, they can't do 2 spells to destroy your thing. So
yeah, they literally can't stop you.
Yeah.
At that moment, and it's just silly. Definitely give it a look if you want to try something different. It's definitely worth playing and messing around with because those 3-drop, that whole little like cluster of 3-drop additions are a lot better than everyone gave them credit for, and so I just would definitely advise trying them.
Oh yeah.
With that, guys, that is the Type A negative deck. It is a lot of fun synergy with everything it does. It's all about flipping your dudes back and forth and just getting a whole bunch of value.
Just having a board every turn, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, this deck is the epitome of Value City, and that's really what it's for, is just to be like, I get dudes, you don't have dudes.
Swing dudes. Okay, good. Done.
If you want to see the deck list, guys, it'll be down below. Check it out. Thank y'all for joining us today at Geektopia Island, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.
Alright, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also hit the bell that gets you notifications on all of our content. Also, if you need the latest deck tech, it's going to be to the right, and if you need the latest gameplay videos, it's going to be down below.